Welcome all to Let's Get It, where we attack today's local or national hottest sports topics. I'm your host, Randy Dutkin, and let's get after it.
Good morning, Let's Get It fans. Welcome to another edition of Let's Get It. I'm your host, Randy Dutkin, along with my co-host and producer, Jason Bryce, and co-host, Coach Marcus Bullock, coming to you on a overcast Sunday morning. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm glad that the temperatures have dropped a little bit and it's not as hot this morning. Got a good show ahead of you. Going to get into, of course, some Phillies talk, a little bit of comeback down to earth and realization. Going to go through the came down to earth, after our 8-game win streak and getting the whole city hyped up. And now the train is back in the station as far as the playoff run goes. In some people's eyes, in my eyes, of course, we're still in it until we're eliminated. Get into that, get into some Eagles talk and some other things. Before, as usual, we get into I like to check in with everyone. Coach, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. I agree. Happy that the temperature came down a little bit. Start school. I got teachers in service this week, so just kind of getting back in that mindset. I said starting tomorrow, I'm going to be on my school schedule, so I'm going to be getting up early, just trying to get back in the flow of that. But everything's going well, man. All is good.
Nice. Jay, how you doing?
I am doing well. Multitasking as usual, but I'm doing well. We just, it's school time. It's life now. Life is back. I've been shut down for some time. So, but now it's time to turn it back on. So last week was somewhat back to school week, but a little hard, but better. You know what I'm saying? Like I started out still coming into work at 11, but by Friday I was like 8:30. So next week I'll be more like 7:45, especially Wednesday and Thursday, because that's when we're back. So I'll be more back to the regular schedule. But I guess, I don't know, it takes some time after you've been getting up whenever you want to go, going to sleep whenever you want to go. Now you got to acclimate yourself back. So, I'll do some work today and be ready in point, man, to, get started first thing tomorrow, because life starts tomorrow again.
Yeah, I never understood. We used to always be, up here, that you would never go back to school until after Labor Day. Now I feel like they're pushing it up further and further every year.
Well, my students don't start till after Labor Day. And,
right.
It's funny, as you're a student, you're like, oh, teachers got in service, all this. You're like, what do y'all do? What is the point of all that? And, as a teacher now, I still say that same thing. Like, what is the point of all of this? But, it's interesting now. It's just like a whole, I agree. I feel like I'm 2 weeks early.
Well, like I said, good luck to you guys in your first school year. So, I know that the football season started yesterday for a lot of the local teams.
Yeah, it's interesting. My kids, they get a certain age, they think they know everything. And I said, I was going to go to the game yesterday down in Ocean City, right? But I'm telling you, I'm becoming more of a weather guy. I watch the weather for everything.
I love the weather.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm a huge weather guy.
And I said, nah, you know what? The forecast models are showing the storm around this time. You know what? Yeah, we're watching on TV. Kids was like, oh, you just don't want to go. Oh, you this, that. Listen, the Penns Grove game lasted, I think, 4 hours, 4.5 hours.
Delays.
A 2-hour weather delay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But shout out to the Penns Grove football team. They did win. You know what? After losing, some of our, just fabulous athletes down there for the last 2 years, to still come out there and I'm not sure about this Bernard's team or whatever, but to go out there and run the ball the way they did, and those kids out there, I just say, hey, listen, you know what? And that's one thing I love about Penns Grove. It's like no matter what, you're always in it, because if you have the heart and the will, you'll be fine. So shout out to them. They surprised me. You know what I'm saying? For being a young team, they was out there running all over them.
Oh yeah, I know. Like I said, and I know the local schools. I know Cherry Hill East opened up today, but that tournament down in Ocean City was huge. There were schools from everywhere down there.
Yeah, Battle of the Beach.
Battle at the Beach.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. And that was something to look into. I said high school football up and running big time, always into it. And, of course, we got regular NFL starting up. Mm-hmm. We're excited about it.
Go Eagles. EAGLES, Eagles, baby. Eagles, baby.
Well, as we all know, Jay is no Eagles fan. We're going to get to it, though. We're going to go through the schedule one by one. I'm going to give my thoughts game by game. as far as win or loss. We'll see how we go. I'm sure Jay will have his opinions. But look, before we get into anything else, last time I was out here, last time we talked, I was hyped. The Phillies had a huge winning record. They had an 8-game win streak. They were on board. They were on fire. And unfortunately, they have fallen back down to earth and back out its normalcy. They're 4.5 games out in the NL East, 5 games out in the wild card, and struggling against an Arizona Diamondbacks team, which seems to have our number. They got the last 2 games, but it's frustrating because I did allow myself to let me suck me. They sucked me in, and
you weren't alone though.
Oh no, and no, it's not because
you had company.
We had company because you saw that, and it's frustrating though because I remember the last game against the Mets that Sunday. That's when we it was the stadium down there was rocking. They had over 30-some thousand, which they hadn't had in a while. And I was out at the game the other night on Friday night, and it was back to pretty much an empty stadium. And it was sad. But the good thing about that was a crazy game, though. Went to overtime, extra innings. You just see with the injuries that they have, very hard to overcome. And then you just see also, too, the consistency is just not there with the defense, with the pitching. And unfortunately, I think at the end of the year, the Phillies are going to come up short for the playoffs. But here's the thing. I talked about it before. You look at it, and people say, oh, you just want to be competitive. You just want to be competitive. They're not going to fall out of it at any point, really. They're always going to – somewhere in that 3 to 5 game range they're going to be the rest of the season. Maybe they are able to get themselves up to within 2 games, 1.5 games, you don't know. But at some point, that's not enough. This team you thought was being built to be a playoff team, and I look more towards next year, and we'll get into that, and how many holes really this team has to fill, and it's a tremendous amount. So I know. Go ahead, Jay.
You said it all. There's nothing else to say. I think that I don't think last time when we were on that they weren't. They haven't won that. That was in July, right? That 8-game winning streak.
No, they were. I'll have to go back to the dates, but I know that recently, like I said, because after the 8-game win streak, they had where they then got swept by the Diamondbacks. They won 2 out of 3 against the Padres. Then they lost the 2 to the Rays, and then they lost the opening game again to the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, so that sounds like about a good 2-3 weeks right now, right? It's been a while since they were on that win streak, and I thought that was late July. I thought it was. I could be wrong. And it was good to see that you had that many people out. But I think New York and Philly sports always attract good crowds. Would you say?
Well, no. Well, it all depends on what sport.
Or baseball. The Mets come out. When you went to the game, right? Yeah. There was a lot of Met fans in the building, right?
Yeah, but the Mets fans always attract. Mm-hmm. But so much of that too was people were getting hyped for the Phillies. The fans, I agree. The fans were coming back out of the woodwork. Mm-hmm. People were like, oh, maybe they're there. Maybe they're growing back. And now it's like you look back at it, you just see their shortcomings. You know where they're at, and it's.
But at the same time, not to burst the bubble. I'm just saying that was like a fight for first. So that was almost like a mini playoff series, somewhat, right? Because they were 1 and 2, right?
Yep.
So that was a good. So that's going to bring out good attendance and good things. So plus they were playing well and stuff like that. But I always thought it was fool's gold.
I did too. I wanted to believe it. I know I did. Coach, your smile. What's your thoughts?
Well, no, you didn't think it was fool's gold.
Sure did.
And that's okay though. It's okay. It's okay for that because and like Jay said, you weren't alone. And I think in one of our shows you said, the stadium's back to being filled. Everybody's back on board. So you weren't alone. There was thousands and thousands of people that were there with you. Right. But then it's one of those things, and this is a Philly. I can only speak for Philly because this is the only place I've ever lived. But why do we do that to ourselves? I get it.
Starving for a winner.
I get it. But and at the beginning of the season, you said they would be 500 that would be good for them.
I would say be good. That's what I expected.
That's what you expected. That's what I meant. So when it goes up a little bit, I have no problem jumping in, like, let's go. But when it goes down, it's not like everybody sucks. They're playing. No, they're just doing what they've been doing all but these 8 games.
You're right. And that's
You know what, Coach? You're absolutely right. That's why I'm in this position, because I'm taking notes too.
I see that.
I'm in the
you guys can't see it, but he's in a therapist position.
This is how I am when I'm in session. So why do you do that? Why do you do
I do. You guys can't see it. He's got the leg up, and I feel like I'm in the office here. No, because the thing is, Philadelphia fans are dying for a winner. I mean, we're dying for a winner. I mean, it's been like, especially when it comes to baseball. I mean, it's been 2011 since they've been playoffs. It's been 2012 since they've even been somewhat relevant. I mean, you can say they've missed out on the playoffs the last few years, but we are starving for it. When we went out and got the big names, and I know I'm opening myself up to this, when we went out and we got the big names, JT, Zach Wheeler, Bryce Harper, DJ Gregorius, Gene Segura, you're building, Archie Bradley. You're building a roster where you say, we expect to be a playoff team. But the problem that comes down to it again, and you look at all the teams that are successful, is homegrown talent. And that's where the Phillies lack. They just recently, Dombrowski, who's the head of the organization, fired the head of the scouting department and is all redoing that, which I think is a phenomenal move. But again, that's not something you're going to see an overnight impact. Right. You're still looking at, okay, that could take 3 to 4 to 5 years down the road to see the impact of it. But you look at the Braves, you look at the Mets, you look at the Dodgers, you look at the Padres, you look at the Blue Jays, which are like one of the, all these teams are homegrown talent. And no matter how much, you can't buy every piece. Even with the Yankees, they always have a couple guys that come up from the minor league system and they contribute, especially this year when they had all the injuries. So you can't always depend on buying your team a playoff victory.
Yeah, I think you're right. I actually think you're right. But I think that the scouting department is one area. But and I know this opens you up, and people, y'all might be like, oh God, here we go again. But it's you can buy great players, okay, but you got to have the money to continue to keep up with it, though. You can't just put a little sprinkle here and then say, no, we're spending too much, or we will spend this money on this position, and then now the rest you're just kind of like trying to fill it in. Like, it doesn't work like that. So I think that you got to be mindful of the positions that you spend that money on. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
No, and you're not wrong, Coach. I know.
Well, 2 things. One, on Jay, on what you're saying, I agree. Either you're in or you're out.
You're in and out, right?
And that's in all sports. You'll see like the owners will be like, all right, listen, this is the most I'm spending. I don't care if we win, lose, whatever.
Right.
And I think what the Phillies have, where they've struggled is, oh, we think we're going to win this year, so let's spend a lot of money.
Yeah, right.
And then, oh, we're not going to win this year, so let's not spend money. Where you can't pick and choose when you're going to do it. Either you're in or you're out. But one thing, Randy, let me ask you this question: the teams that like the Braves are ahead of the Phillies right now. Are the Braves a better team? They have a better roster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's ahead of them in the wild card?
You got the Reds. You have the Padres, the Dodgers, the Cardinals.
All right. So do all those teams have better rosters?
I look at it. The Padres definitely do.
Right.
The Dodgers obviously definitely do.
Right.
The Reds are a more complete team.
Yeah.
I think if you look at it individually, I think the Phillies may have more stars, but the Reds are more complete team.
Yeah.
And so they do have it. And again, these players too, they're smart pickups.
Right.
And that's the thing. So
when you look at it like that, and this is I guess how I kind of try to do in basketball, if a team has a better roster than you, then they're going to be a better team than you. So that's what it. So it's not like the Phillies are underachieving. They're where they're supposed to be. Yeah. Now it's up to the manager, the general manager, to bring them to either overachieve or we got to put better players on the team.
Right. Yeah, and it's just, you look at it and it's like they did enough at the trade deadline to hang in. Like they got Kyle Gibson, who's been a big surprise. He's under control for next season as a starting pitcher. They brought in Ian Kennedy. who has been okay. But you look at other teams that have made great moves, like the Yankees. They went out and they got Anthony Rizzo, they got Joey Gallo, they got two big names where the other team is pretty much paying most of their salaries.
That's just like
so. I'm just saying, I know where you're gonna go with this, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. It's the front office moves. And like you look at the Braves, they went out and when they signed Jock Peterson for center field. And what a move that was. He's making $7 million, and he's exactly what they needed. The Phillies, Jock Peterson was sitting out there. The Phillies needed a center fielder. They never went and addressed it. And so teams look and they say, you don't always need to go get that, first fresh cut of meat, that top cut of meat. You get yourself like that middle of the way player, and you can be successful. That's been the problem. They've been wanting to make the splash, but like with anything, they don't want to fill in the holes.
Well, I think they made the splash this summer. And that's where their pockets are. And then now it's like they can't really spend that kind of money. So now they're kind of limited.
Right. But
that's the thing. Like you have, and back to that original point, you got to be all in, or you can't just like tiptoe in and then say, okay, whatever, like that. Like that's part of like I hate to say this, I'm just being honest with you, but it's a championship mindset. And this is big because this is and coach, I know you know this, you know what I'm saying, because it's business, right? In business there's two games. There's the short game, there's the long game. And I'm wondering, does Philly, especially the Phillies, are they thinking the long game or they're always thinking the short game? So and that's what it comes down to. When you're thinking the long game, you're a championship mentality team. To me.
Right. And I think you bring a great point, Jay, is that you had like the Phillies looked at it and said, we have to make this move. What can we do now? And the immediate impact, like you're saying,
right.
And I don't think that they could have looked at this roster and said, this is a championship roster this season. And if they did, they're looking at it.
They thought it was a playoff roster. You thought it was too, though.
I thought that this team was about an 86, maybe 88 win team max. And I thought that was going to be fringe, and that was their max. I thought so you look somewhere between a 88 win team, but you look at again, their bullpen's blown a lot of games. The defense has been terrible. I mean, they've lost. God, I mean, it's been 25th blown save they just had.
They went from they went from being a laughing stock. I'm just being honest. I mean, they couldn't even catch a blooper.
They were the Bad News Bears,
right? To like being like, hey, respectable, and wow, you really coming together, and all engines, especially during that echelon, I'll say, when they beat the Mets. But now they're like, it's just mediocrity. They're mediocre at best.
No, they are. And
average at best.
The thing is, too, is you go, and it is. And you looked at the thing, and so a lot of people threw us. If you look at this team around the whole diamond, they have so many holes, and that's the issue.
Yeah, well,
I mean, who's around the diamond? You
got first base. You got
Realmuto behind the plate.
Yeah. Okay. So there's the thing, though. You got
Hall of Famer. You have Bryce Harper. Where's Bryce at? First?
No, he's in right field.
Right field. Okay, so who's at first?
You got Rhys Hoskins.
He's out.
He's out.
He can't play first base. He can't be your first base. He's ideally a DH. Oh. He can't be like defensively. He's just.
Let's send him to the Yankees.
He'd be amazing in New York. I mean, he's not. Yeah. I think you have to put him there. Second base, you got Segura, who I like. Didi is past his prime. Didi cannot field. You don't have a third baseman.
He's got a lot of errors. Didi.
Oh yeah, he's horrendous. And the bat's inconsistent. Third base, you don't have a third baseman right now. McCutcheon's going to be going. You don't have a left fielder. You don't have a center fielder. So I mean, these are just.
So you got a hell of a right fielder and a hell of a catcher.
Yeah. And you got a second base.
See what I mean?
And
See what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
No, you're right. But I'm saying, you invested in these guys like DD, giving them contracts extension you didn't have to. I mean, Rhys, like I said, he produces, but defensively can't. So you look at it, you say, how can this team get better next year? Because there's nothing even in the minors to look at and say, all right, we can bring this guy up.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the last show, and I've said, you got multiple draft picks that are showing that they can't play. And we're talking about high-level draft picks that aren't contributing. Mm-hmm. All these successful teams, Padres, Blue Jays, Braves, Dodgers, they all have multiple homegrown talent, multiple draft picks that are contributing right away.
Well, I mean, it's going to take some time. But, I mean, listen, I hope that in the near future, the next 5 to 10 years, that, I hope that, the Phillies get together and they'll be able to win something.
Well, I hope so too.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is the big question is you're wasting a lot of the prime years that you've spent on Bryce Harper. Like Bryce Harper is having an MVP type season.
Is he really?
I mean, he's leading. Yeah, I mean, he really is. And you look at it and see how many of these years is he going to have, and you can't say, in 3 years. I'm not saying he's not going to be good. I mean, the guy's young. He's not even 30 years old yet. But when you have MVP type seasons, it's like you look at like Mike Trout with the Angels. They just wasted it away. And you just wonder what it's going to be like moving forward. So
yeah, well, average at best.
hey, listen. I mean, I can't argue that. Coach is over here
best.
smiling.
Average at best.
It always comes back to average at best.
That's it.
No, it doesn't. I mean,
Average at best.
it does. But
It's all good.
But
It's gonna be all right.
But I mean, look, for you. With that said, the Yankees just stayed hot. Yankees finally lost.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
13 wins in a row.
And I think it's about being hot at the right time and then the wrong time. So like the Phillies, they always get hot at the wrong time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and then people celebrate and it's like, yeah, it's a little too early. It's liking it to a team that's up by 20 in the first quarter. It's going to.
Let's flip back and forth and see where we're
It's
at.
a game of runs.
Yeah.
It's the first team hits you in the mouth, and then now you got to respond. So the Phillies, to me, they're always they get hot at the wrong time. The Yankees, to me, they get hot at the right time. I think it's a pressure. It's more of a pressure that's on them. You know what I'm saying? I think and I think it could be and you can correct me if I'm wrong. It might be like and I don't want to say that because I could go and spin a different way, but like pressure either make pipes. Pressure either make diamonds or burst pipes. And sometimes, you got to know how to respond to pressure. And sometimes I feel like a lot of Philly teams don't know how to respond to the pressure. That's just my opinion. I mean, even my Sixers, sometimes they don't know how to respond to the pressure. It's like in a game 7. And the Philly team's playing, I'm nervous as shit.
Yeah.
I'm nervous as hell. Even if it's at home, I'm nervous as hell.
I think you make a good point, Coach.
So I think that goes back to your championship mindset clause because the Yankees go into seasons, and this is just my assumption, saying, okay, let's see what we have here.
Right.
And then we'll make the moves that we need to make sure at the end of the season we're in striking distance to do what we have to do.
Right.
Whereas the Phillies, and I think this is not just the Phillies, but I think this is a lot of organizations, they're in the fight from day one. We got to win. We got to win. We got to win. We got to figure this. How's this? We got to win this game. Because they don't have that mindset to, okay, this isn't working. Let's just go get that.
Right.
That's not working. Okay, we get him. So I think that's the difference in the mindset right there. That if okay, we got this guy at third, he's not producing. Who's the third baseman that's out there right now that we can just go get?
Right.
And they do it. And then at the end of the season, they're always there. They don't always win, but they're always there in striking distance to make the run when they need to.
And I think you're right, though. It's a mentality, and that is with so many Philadelphia teams. Okay. So many Philadelphia teams. I think you're right. Mm-hmm. I think you're 100% right. I do want to get into the Sixers later and a little something too.
Yeah, I got
Ben Simmons putting out more videos of him shooting.
I'm okay with it.
But
I'm okay.
We'll get into that.
I'm okay with it. I mean, I think the next thing. I don't know. I seen it even with the Eagles, right? And I hate to go there, but even with the Eagles,
we're going to get into that.
Eagles, they were world champions 4 years ago.
Yep,
4 years ago.
Yeah,
that's pretty recent. You know what I'm saying? So what have they done to continue that trajectory?
Yeah. Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It almost makes it seem like you fell into that championship.
Oh, I think if you ask a lot of people, and
it was like an accidental championship. You can even say that.
I actually agree with that.
You know
I don't think at any point that, for example, there was no point you said the Eagles are the team to beat or the Super Bowl team. Obviously, you look at even just the bounces their way.
Yeah,
everything went their way. Mm-hmm. Everything went, you could say, you definitely did fall into it.
You know?
I mean, so there's so many, you can absolutely make that argument. People say, oh, no, we beat the Patriots, blah, 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 blah.
I even had somebody at my job, 2 people at my job, as a matter of fact, during that year, and I was new that year. They told me that it was tougher. It was harder. The Eagles' fight against the Patriots was harder than the Giants' fight against the Patriots when they won.
I don't know. I mean, I just think they were different games. I think when you're in the streets,
I'm trying to understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Meaning that Eagles beating the Patriots, it was tougher for them to beat them. The Patriots were better then in 2017 than they were in, was it 2011?
Well, the Giants won in 2007, 2011.
The undefeated team?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I said, how can you compare
I was going to say.
the undefeated team?
The Patriots teams have always been stacked, but those Patriots teams were just monsters.
That Patriot team that the Eagles beat, they weren't stacked. They weren't stacked.
They weren't stacked.
They were good.
Yeah.
But they weren't stacked.
They were, and that team, I think, if I recall, I think that Patriots team was better defensively than they were offensively.
Oh, yeah.
You mean this 2017 or the
one that
undefeated?
No, because when you
2017.
2017, yeah.
Right.
They were better defensively than they were offensively. Yeah, okay. I agree with that. But I'm just saying overall,
I don't think
that
you can say
undefeated team was, please.
I don't think you can make that argument. I don't think that, but I think that is that Philly fan base of trying to stretch out, what we did, and always say we did better than this, or we did better than that. Like, because you can't talk bad about our team.
But it's the lack of championship is what I'm saying. It's the it's the lack of it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, with the Eagles fans, I'm saying, hey, listen, you shouldn't really have, like, to me, I don't want to see Eagle fans behaving the same way they behaved before you won the chip. Because you have to evolve because you won now.
But the thing
so
is,
you're at the table now.
We are. But the thing is, to me, like, that you won whatever, you won your hand, but you already put it back in, you got nothing.
No, I'm gonna tell you what it's like. It's like, and then I'm going to therapy a little bit. It's like addiction. You know what I'm saying? And for those that have, that have been addicted to, like, man, let's just say crack, right? You've been addicted to crack. No, I'm going hard. I'm going hard.
All the way.
Right.
You're either in or you're out.
Right. I'm going hard.
Like, let's say you dabble with a little bit of a joint. He's like, let's say you smoke crack.
Let's say you smoke crack, right? And you get recovered and God healed you, you recovered. So that you physically aren't smoking the crack. But the cracky ways and the tendencies is still there.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, no, that's
so you won the chip, but the lack of chip tendencies and mentality is still there. You have to evolve. You have to evolve.
So you do, but
That's a very interesting comparison.
I mean,
yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah, but it's the truth that you have to, because, like, I mean, and let's talk about, and again, I'm not trying to go there, but when I was reading, like, I actually had to catch up on some things. So, like I tell you, I've been disconnected, right? So I had to catch up on some things just reading, right? And I'm like, okay, the Eagles signed this quarterback. Okay, well, who is he? Oh, and I read the paper, oh, this something mania. I'm like, well, what the fuck is this kid here? Yeah. So I'm like, oh, he's average at best. Why is there any mania?
Well, hold on. The mania doesn't start here. The mania was in Jacksonville.
Yeah. So we have not
because
any mania.
That has nothing to do with Philly.
Minshew mania was
He came in. He was your Nick Foles-esque type quarterback who came in and went on a run, was putting up all these numbers.
And the funny thing is, he wasn't even, like, he did do well. He's got some solid numbers for his career. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you're right. Like this, like, I understand what you're saying though. Like,
yeah, he's Chase Daniel Jr.
But you know what? I mean, I think Gardner Minshew accomplished a little more than Chase Daniel did. But I hear what you're saying. Like, Minshew should never see the field for the Eagles unless there's an injury or something, like 2 injuries. Mm-hmm. I mean, here's the thing though, and I want to get into the Eagles. Everyone's talking about Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. We talked about it on other episodes. Mm-hmm. The opening games coming up Sunday against the Falcons. Like, Jalen Hurts hasn't even been named the starter yet. I mean, we all know that this is just a formality for him to be the starter.
Right.
But for a young guy who apparently has been doing everything right. Like I've talked to other shows, like I'm open to supporting him. I have nothing against him. I hope he comes out, throws 4 TDs. Like anybody who's not supporting Jalen Hurts, I don't understand it.
Mhm.
I mean, and there's a lot of Eagles fans out there that are actually like rooting against the kid. Like
Well, that's because they were more of a Carson lover.
not even. I don't understand it because I don't understand. I mean, because I was a Carson lover. Carson's gone. Carson's dead to me.
Mhm.
He's done.
Right. Well, it also helps that Carson's injured too, though.
No, he's back.
He's
He's
back.
on
Oh, he's
track.
back?
Yeah, he's on track to schedule week 1.
Oh.
But the thing is, like, I don't understand as an Eagles fan, like, we drafted this kid. If he is successful and he is good, then you're set up now because you have a good starting quarterback. You have 3 first-round draft picks next year. You can surround him with talent. So you can say in 2-3 years, you can propel yourself back to the top of the league.
I'm nervous for him because, listen, the fact that people are against him or he's got to go against the odds, I'm sure, just being honest with you, I'm sure that he's had to battle.
Oh, he is. Well, I mean, the kid got
I'm sure he's had to battle that all his
we
life.
talked about it before. In college, he was Alabama's quarterback.
Mhm.
He got benched, went to Oklahoma, and became Oklahoma's star quarterback, brought them to the college football national championship semifinal. So he's okay. I mean, he knows how to overcome adversity.
Right. But again, like I think culturally that he's kind of that's been ingratiated in him to be able to overcome and persevere and stuff like that. The thing that's disheartening though is that they've hired an inexperienced leader.
Yeah.
Who I don't think is just prepared for that.
And the problem too is, and you make a good point, like even this past week, they like it was like kind of leaked out that Sirianni is only doing what Roseman and Laurie kind of dictate him to do.
Well,
And
yeah, because you can clearly see that. Has he been a head football coach in
No.
college?
no, he's never been a head
That's what I'm
coach.
saying. Like, so how the hell did he get this job?
Because he was the puppet. He was the guy who said, I'll sign on. Here's my arms. Tell me where to dangle them.
Is it puppet or puppeteer or puppet, or is it more of who did you know to get this job?
Well, it could be a combination
Yeah,
of both,
yeah, that's a good
meaning like, let's bring this guy in. He knows Johnny. Johnny said that he'll be one of us.
Okay.
Do you know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
got you. Okay.
But he was on, like, and that's the thing, he was on nobody's radar. And that's like when you signed him, you were like, who? But again, it's a puppeteer. You look at it, but like even before, and it's just you have Roseman and Laurie. For a coach to be successful, yeah, he needs good players, but he also needs to have complete control of his team.
There's no question.
And complete control of his roster.
I'll give you an example of that. I took over for Coach Valori this season because of the pandemic. He didn't want to, be around because of his age and other things.
right.
I went into the season with him, and not in a negative way, but him saying, okay, here's the practice plans, here's all this. So now I'm just literally doing what he would do,
Right.
but it wasn't what I would do.
Right.
And I support what he does when he's the coach, but that's not how I'm comfortable doing things.
Right.
So we start off the season 0-4.
Right.
And then, all right, hold on, this isn't working. Let's put this in. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. And I'm not saying that's why we started winning games, but like it was just more natural. It was just
Right.
more flow. Now, when something went wrong in the game, I knew what I would do to fix it
Right.
because it was my things that we were doing.
Right.
So you can't go in as a coach with other people's stuff. You just because you're not comfortable. You have no idea.
Right.
It's not natural to you. So for him to be the puppet or to just be, all right, I wonder what they want me to do here. Okay, here's how I have to do it. Like it's not going to work.
Well, I think the difference is that you leaned on, you come to that revelation, so to speak, from experience,
Right.
because you've been in,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You've been in these positions. You understand that. Sirianni,
Right.
what's he coached? What's his resume?
Always been an assistant coach, coordinator. That's it.
And the first opportunity you get is the head coach
Of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well,
We're talking the top 10 franchise, not record wise. I'm talking like financially, big time market. The Philadelphia Eagles. It's not like you went in and you were given the Cincinnati Bengals head coaching job.
Even that, it's only 32. There's only 32 in the world.
Yeah.
So you're telling me he's one of the best
32
in the world?
No,
Right.
he's not. I mean,
You know what I was watching? I've been watching. Have y'all seen All American?
yeah,
That shit is banging.
that's a great show. It's a great show.
Oh my God. Yo, listen. Oh, it's a great show. I was up like 3 o'clock in the morning watching that shit.
Yeah.
Great show. He was 57 out of like 1 million players. That's like wonderful. He was doing his thing. So to your point, 32 jobs. And he got one of them?
Right.
He must be either that special. I hate to say it. He either must be that special or that privileged. It's either one or the other.
Yeah. No,
What
I
else
know.
could it be? What
I know.
else could it be?
And that-
Objectively looking at
And
it.
nobody,
What else could it be?
yeah, nobody no Eagles fan is looking at Sirianni and saying that they have confidence in this man.
Well,
And-
he doesn't speak like. I mean,
No.
he hasn't done to help himself either.
No,
because
he
he hasn't. Has he ever spoke recently that makes you feel like, damn, we got a coach?
Did you see how? I'm sure you saw how the Jets game ended.
yeah.
Nah, see, I was on my third drink at the odds.
So they're up 8.
Okay.
Hail Mary. Jets catch the ball in the end zone.
Oh wow.
Up 6, run it in, 2-point conversion. We end the game in a tie because they're not doing overtime for
Preseason.
And like the Eagles guys are like laughing and joking. I was pissed.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
I wasn't pissed at the game. I was pissed at their reaction.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I just go back to like a Belichick or a Mike Tomlin. They would have been going nuts.
Upset.
I feel like they would have been like first teamers back in.
Yeah, like
Now,
Upset.
here's another thing about they've been doing a lot of these joint practices, and they're talking about Hurts is 17 of 18, and Hurts is 11 of 15, and throwing for all these touchdowns, blah blah blah.
In practice.
Yeah, they're
Oh.
talking about practice, and they're like, oh, it's game speed. No, because no one's trying to hit you. You don't have guys coming over the middle trying to take out the receivers.
Right.
I felt that I would have liked to have seen the Jalen Hurts and other first teamers play, especially Jalen Hurts, play more in the preseason.
Well, it actually showed me that they probably didn't play because they didn't want to risk any type of injury or anything because there's nothing behind them.
No, and I get that, but now you're sending again, the kid had experience last year too, so it's not like the first time out there. But if you're running new systems, I would have liked to have seen him out there for a little bit longer. I remember even in years past, it's less and less now, and you have the 17 games, you have a longer schedule, COVID, things like that, it's, which again is now impacting the league. You're seeing it already all over the place. The Tennessee Titans have multiple, the Patriots have multiple. So it's interesting. If you don't, meet the qualifications, there's going to be a lot of issues again. I think that's why, for example, for the Eagles going to get a guy like Minshew is not a bad move, because there could be a week where you need Gardner Minshew to start a game for you. And I'm not saying that he's a star, but I feel like he could come in and have a good game and lead you to a victory over a particular team. So in a season with COVID where you don't know what it's going to break down to, I like the move. Now, what I wanted to do, I want to go game by game and see your thoughts on the Eagles schedule.
Mm.
All right. So I know, Jay, your thoughts. I respect everything. So
He'll be fired.
who?
Sirianni.
You think he's not going to make it through the season?
I'm going to make a bold prediction and say no.
Oh, okay.
He will not make it through the season.
Okay. We'll see. Listen.
You're gonna struggle badly.
Listen. Oh, I have no doubt. Let's go through this. So week 1, they're away at Atlanta.
L.
I think it lost too.
Loss.
So we got 0-1. Then they are home versus the Niners.
L.
I tend to think it's going to be an L too.
Loss.
So we're at 0-2. Then we got week 3. We got away against the Cowboys.
L.
Loss.
I think they get a W there. I think they beat the Cowboys on the road. But I also just hate the Cowboys.
Dak's playing, right?
If Dak's play, yeah. So if I look at it objectively,
L.
you're right. Probably else. You're looking at 0-3. Then you have home against the Chiefs. and Andy Reid, who's going to want to just run it up.
That might be
That might be like a 42 to 10.
I was going to say that's going to be embarrassing.
You know, so you got potentially 0-4 start. Then you got the Panthers away.
Who's their quarterback?
Oh, I'd have to go back and look.
They may have an opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean the Panthers could be a W. Then you got then 4 days later, on third, you got the Buccaneers at home. So it'll be an L.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady is going to be like, listen, you guys beat me in the Super Bowl.
L.
So now you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 5.
Their quarterback Sam Darnold. I'll take them over Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we got 1 and 5. So 1 and 5 to start the season. Okay. Then you got away against the Raiders, a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got away versus the Lions.
I think you win that.
Hey, yeah, I'll give us that win.
Who they trade? Who's their quarterback?
Jared Goff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you
they
win.
got Goff because they got rid of Stafford. Then you got home versus.
Can I take a tie versus the Lions?
Yeah, I was going to say that's a coin.
I'll take a
Okay.
tie.
Okay, so then you got the Chargers, which at home, which I think is a loss. Chargers quarterback's awesome,
Who?
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, it's a loss.
Okay.
Then you got away versus the Broncos. I think that's going to be a tough loss. I think Teddy Bridgewater now and that receiving core is going to be too much for the Eagles. I mean, and I'm not just saying this to be dead, like hard on them. Like this is legit. Then you got home versus the Saints.
Loss.
No Drew no more though. So they're
But
in transition a little bit.
no, they are. But then you got Jameis Winston was just named the starter.
Oh, really?
He's been playing well.
Yeah,
Okay.
really well.
Okay.
So then you got away versus the Giants.
I think you get that one.
Okay.
I hate to say it though. I think you get that one.
So
Possibly.
we're
I think
still
he split with the Giants.
yeah. So I think one of them, yeah, 1 and
You gotta see
1.
where Saquon is.
Yeah. So you're still now at okay. So we have 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, 1-4, 1-5, 1-6. We'll say 2-6, 2-7, 2-8, 2-9. We'll say 3-9 after the Giants game. Then you got away versus the Jets. I'll give us the win over the Jets.
Yeah, absolutely.
4-9. Then you got your bye week. Then you got
Bye weeks when?
bye
that
week
week?
is week
Late.
14.
Late.
It's late. Okay.
So you think he's going to make it to the bye week? Because if you go into that bye week 3-10,
I'll say that somewhere around that time.
okay,
I think if they have 4 wins, then he's safe.
okay.
They start out 0-6. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for him.
I think defining games are like obviously the Cowboy game, and games like the Panthers and the Lions, which are kind of toss-up games. Because that's kind of like okay, you know. Then you got the Washington football team, and that's home.
It's an L.
I'll take it. I'll split that too.
Yeah, and then you got home versus the Giants, and then you got away versus the Washington football team, and home versus the Cowboys. So I don't see more than
4
5
games.
wins on your schedule.
Yeah.
And that means you're sitting here. That means you're going to be at 5-12.
Yeah. And that's sad. But I think if Doug Peterson coaches the team, I think you're better. You don't think so?
No.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. When you answer that question just like that, you speak to the fact that you think it's more than just the coaching. I think the coaching, I think the leadership that you have right now is one of the biggest problems that you have. You have to have leaders to be able to cultivate any type of talent.
Right. And what the thing is, I
Eagles
also
have
think
some
you
talent.
have. I did, yeah, but I also think you just have unknowns too, and that's one of the biggest issues.
Yeah, but
If we had a stronger-
Fulgham. You look at Fulgham. Fulgham was unknown.
Try,
You know what I'm saying?
Fulgham barely made the roster this year.
Oh, okay. I mean, but he was playing well under Peterson, though. That's what I'm saying.
Man, if Fulgham had a 3-game stretch, that he was
You're acting like a Philly fan right now.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, he's no different than he went from pretty much obscurity
yeah, but he's still
to he has some relevance.
he did, but,
He was similar to who do we talk about? I guess we talked about with Carson. Once teams knew who he was, he got taken out pretty easily. He had those 3-4 games, whatever it was, where he was balling, but then it was like, what happened to you? He was still on the field, but why are you not getting the ball?
Well, I mean, in fairness, nobody was getting the ball, right? Because Carson sucked.
Yeah, no,
That fair?
Well, Hurts was in by then.
yeah.
But no, Hurts came in the last 3 games? Was it 3 games?
No,
Last 4 games?
no. Hurts was the last 4 games.
Okay, 4 games.
Yeah.
I mean, but the season's 16 games?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean,
But you
listen,
gotta look at it, but like this year, like he was
everybody
just,
sucked last year.
but he was just
Carson
on the
sucked.
he was just on the fringe of making this shitty receiving core. I mean, and I look at it too, like you just like you said, if we had a stronger coach, then yes, I would feel that more. But I also look at talent wise on this roster, you don't know what you have at all. I mean, your receivers. I mean, Devontae Smith, like he's going to be a stud, but after that, you don't know what you have with your receivers. I mean, so you know what you have. You have a questionable secondary. You got questionable running game. And there's so you don't know what you have. So,
Well, I mean, again, I think, I think leadership matters, though, man. I think, and Coach, I mean, you spoke to it though. You talked about, when you can dive into that experience to say, you know what, I'm doing this, but I gotta switch. I gotta switch this up because we're not getting the results that we want. That's experience as a coach. I don't see Sirianni being able to do that.
No.
I don't see him being able to adjust on the fly. He looks like a deer in headlights, even through the press conferences.
he does.
You know what I'm saying? And he tries to minimize it by just like with this laissez-faire attitude. Yeah. Like, and I saw some, even the first preseason game. I mean, it was like 2 series. I saw this series, and I saw you saw this there. We looked pretty good out there. And I'm like, okay. I'm thinking the Eagles is blowing their asses out.
No,
fucking tired.
And he's like, and I I hate the statistics from these practices. Like, I mean, like it's not relevant.
But it's relevant to make you feel. It's marketing. It's relevant
That's exactly what it is.
I know
right,
it is.
to
Right.
make you feel
Because
comfortable with Sirianni because they know that they messed up. That was done to appease Carson, but then somewhere along the line, Carson was like, "Yo, I'm out."
No, bro, the Carson storyline is done.
No,
It's over with.
No.
Philly is done with Carson.
There's after effects. You cannot minimize that. When Sandy came through, it was the big impact, but then there were residual after effects of Sandy. So it's the same thing. Carson, everything was done to appease him. And then now that he said he's gone, now you're living with all those different decisions. You know what? It's no different than Billy King. Billy King was horrible. I liked him at Duke. I thought he was decent at Duke, right? He's horrible as a GM. Yeah. Horrible. He did everything to appease AI. Right. And when AI bounced, we were left what?
With nothing.
Nothing. And I mean with the residual effect of that.
But do you think as a GM, I'm okay with you doing everything to please AI?
Right.
He's a once in a lifetime talent.
Sure.
You can't do that for Carson. No. You can do it for Tom Brady.
But they were doing it for Carson.
I agree. But I'm saying you can't. That's the problem.
Right.
If you're doing it for Tom Brady, if you're doing it for Aaron Rodgers, I understand.
Yeah.
But you're doing it for Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz, because he had that little bit of glory.
Right.
Yep.
He had a pocket. Now we talked about Travis. It was Travis Fulgham, right?
Right.
We talked about him and his little pocket. He's average at best, right? What the fuck Carson was?
Yeah, but obviously you can't sit here and try to compare.
Everybody had a pocket. He had a pocket.
But the pocket of Travis Fulgham to Carson Wentz, that's not even fair.
No, but a pocket's a pocket. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not, because there's pockets on wide leg jeans and there's pockets that women have on their pants. And some pockets are bigger than others.
Right. But it's still pockets, though. That's what I'm saying. It's still pockets of glory, pockets of moments. So his pocket was a little longer, but it's
a lot
longer. Well, a little longer, a lot longer. Okay, but still a pocket.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're dirty and I'm dirty, can one be more dirtier than the other? I guess. But both of you motherfuckers is dirty. You're both dirty. Shit.
I mean, you're right. I mean, it's just.
I don't know.
It's this season, like I said, and it's interesting when you go into this. It's like, are you excited for the Eagles? I actually am, because I just don't know what to expect. Now, I mean, it could quickly become I'm pissed off with this team, but I think that's what it is. It's like you don't know, and so much now is going to impact obviously what we do next year and what we do in the draft next year. You know, and that's kind of where I'm interested at. Because like I said, if Hurts can play and looks like he can play, then okay. Then I'm feeling good about things. Like I'm not looking at wins and losses. Like we can
Hurts can play. I just don't know. You know, again, like I said, I think that he's built for this. He's built. You got to understand, and that's why I say it goes a little deeper, because what I'm looking at is that, you know, he has all the stacks, all the decks are stacked up against him, even down to the coaching.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So but I think that he could persevere.
Yeah.
But it's all the decks are stacked against him though.
If he's given the chance. If he's given the chance.
No, he's given the chance, but it's like, damn.
But
And he's given it's you know what? He's given the chance, like, let's say Christian Wood was given the chance. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we're gonna throw you out there, but there's nothing there with you.
Nothing there with you.
Not even.
that's
the coach.
Not
that
even
is
a
why, like I said, that's as Philadelphia fans, you have to look at and judge how Jalen Hurts does based upon what he has around him.
I completely agree, but you know there's no shot.
They're not, because all the Philadelphia fans are going to do, and I have to train my own brain to do this, is look at Jalen Hurts and what he's doing with the talent around him. Like if they go,
But why wasn't that, and to the Philly fan, not to cut you, that narrative wasn't the same for Carson though. If we're being honest, right? Because we was like, nah, Carson, he don't got nothing around him. You know what I'm saying? But yet, so I feel like Philly fans were protective of him.
I think
because that one little pocket of glory.
I think
And
because
that was
he had that success
so
with people around him.
I got you.
So now when you take people, when there's nothing around him,
Okay.
you still go back to that.
That's
well,
fair.
here's what he can do
That's
if he
fair.
has those weapons.
That's fair.
So now I think what Randy's saying is he doesn't have anything around him now, Jalen Hurts,
Right.
but we're still gonna
judge him the same. I
way.
got you.
That's
fair.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm encouraging Eagles fans to look at Jalen Hurts and how he does based on what's around him. Like and you have to throw away the record this year because it's not going to be good. Like there's people out there like people that call it radio and and saying, oh, they're going to be a 9-win, 10-win, 11-win team. I don't know how you do that. I mean, max, I'm looking at maybe 6 wins, max. And that's it. Everything falls into place. Now, of course, because you have a tough schedule. Like your road schedule, like I said, or your out of division schedule includes the Raiders, the Chargers, the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, the Broncos. Those all 5 of those are potentially losses.
Right.
So it's not just based upon what the Eagles are doing.
right.
It's who they're playing. But like if I look at Jalen Hurts and they do go, let's say, 4-13 this year, but Jalen Hurts is able to throw for 20 some touchdowns and run for another 8 or 9 and has 30 touchdowns on the season, I'm going to say, okay, Jalen Hurts can play some quarterback. Now let's go, next year in the draft and put offensive weapons around him and see what can we do there.
Right.
But like you said, and like you said, Marcus, Philadelphia fans are going to look at the record and they're going to look at what happens immediately.
It's sad though. I mean, but hey, listen. But I think he's built for it. I think he perseveres. I think he plays decent. I think he will. I think the problem is going to come from Sirianni. I really do. I think he's going to really struggle because coaches to me. They got to be leaders, and how you navigate the press conference, how you navigate certain things, you can kind of tell whether or not, okay, this, he knows how to command and navigate the room and stuff like that. I don't get that feeling from him. I feel like he's like he's lost. I feel like he's lost when he speaks.
No, in
my opinion, I don't know. I could be wrong.
So
maybe he shocks me and surprises me.
Maybe. But let me ask you this, and just kind of switch away from the Eagles and this, Marcus. I don't know if there's anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about, when people speak and what their words say, okay? Mm-hmm. And once again, continued. We talked about a little about last week. Ben Simmons doing his speaking via social media videos.
Sure.
And how does he continue? What goes through his mind? I don't know what goes through his mind when he puts out these videos.
Did he put it out?
Yeah. Like it was on the Ben Simmons Instagram.
Okay.
It's not like somebody tagged him.
Well, let me ask you a question. Here's the question I want to know. If he had put out a video with him at the beach with a pina colada,
Yes.
what would we have been saying? Why ain't your ass in the gym?
Blah blah blah. Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? So what is wrong with him showing his workout? He is not to blame why Philly didn't win. He's part of the blame,
Right.
but he's not the sole blame.
No, he's not.
Right. Nobody's talking about Matisse. Don't be jumping and hitting people in the head on three pointers. Nobody's talking Doc. Hey, bro. Seth is getting killed out there. I mean, do something. I don't care if you run somebody at Herder. Do something. Do something. What could he do, coach? I mean, you know what I'm saying? What he could have did something, or there's nothing that he could have did.
Oh no, there's definitely
Okay.
things he could have.
So hey, do something. We have to talk about those things, but we blame prematurely Ben, and I think that that's not right.
I say it every show, and I think at this point it's going to happen. I think we're going to go into the season. I mean, you think the season's like tomorrow the way we're talking, but
He's not going nowhere.
yeah, he's not going nowhere. I
Because
agree.
you know what? Listen, you're not going to get back nothing for him. So it's not so much that he doesn't want to go, because I'm sure he wants to go because he probably feels unappreciated. You know what I'm saying? But you can't get nothing. You can't get nothing. I mean, you can get something for him, but it's like, and shout out to everybody that has, and congratulations on your big accomplishments and everything. But I won't buy no house. It's like buying a house in this market. I would never buy a house right now. Everybody, you have people that give over $25,000 above the asking price, and they got outbidded.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand that? They got outbidded. So, like, who got all the power? So, with everybody feeling the way they feeling about Ben Simmons, other teams have all the power. So you almost have to bring him back and have him ball out to then maybe reverse that polarity.
But I still think, and we talked about this before, I still think the best Sixers team right now is a Sixers team with Ben Simmons.
Yes, and I think if you add JJ Redick and get more, you know what? Maury hasn't done anything. Maury is becoming like a Dabrowski, a Roseman. He's becoming those type of GMs, yo. He's done nothing. Nothing.
Well, I think his hands are tied with Ben. Like you can't really make too many moves until that settles, because you have a full roster.
Sure.
So there's not money like free agency. There's not really anybody you can go get because you have a full roster. You're kind of waiting to see, okay, what do I need? If we get rid of Ben, what am I getting back? So then I can get what I need. But like you said, the market for Ben isn't what it should be. It's deteriorated because of one bad series, which is insane to me. But like to go back to what you were saying, Randy, I'm fine with the videos of him shooting. Like he does it every summer. Like it is what it is. To me, and I think I've said this before, all he has to do, I don't need him to take one jump shot the entire season. All I need him to do is shoot 70% from the foul line. That solves everything.
Right.
If he shoots 70% from the foul line, he scores over 20 a game, and we're fine.
That's it.
That's it. Because now he's not hesitant to go to the rim.
Right.
Now he's not hesitant when he gets there. He's not kicking it out. Now he's like, oh, I got fouled. Whatever. Foul line, boom.
But I mean, so Ben struggled mightily in the playoffs. Is that correct? Or that one series?
It started in the Washington series, but yeah.
And so he struggled mightily, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, players struggle. Zach Wheeler's struggling right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what about all he's done? I mean, and you know what I'm saying? You focus on the things he's done versus his struggles, right? He had players are allowed to have slumps and bad series. You know what I'm saying? The fact though is that we don't have no patience. And that's the problem. We have no patience. You know what I'm saying? If Embiid struggle, would we be like, yo, Embiid gotta go, get him out of here, get his ass out of here, this and that.
And he had 8 turnovers in the game 7.
But I think the difference though is with Ben, it's the problem is in the playoffs, and it's been in the every playoff series that he's played in. So in Boston, he was obviously hurt in the bubble, but in Boston the year before, they just took him out completely because he couldn't shoot. So they just walled him off, didn't let him get to the rim, non-factor. And now in these two series, it's you can't make free throws, and now he just doesn't want to shoot the ball.
What? So I see, and I guess not to cut you, Coach, but was Milwaukee feeling that same way about Giannis?
You can't compare those two at all. I'm sorry.
But you can a little bit, though.
I don't think you can. Because it's a mindset. Because of the mindset, I don't think you can compare that at all.
Well, okay.
Because Giannis was shooting 40% from the line and still taking 3 threes a game, still shooting 12 free throws a game. He wasn't passing the ball.
But did he have an environment where he could make those mistakes and still be nurtured?
Because he's the best player on the team.
Okay.
Right.
Ben's one of the best.
And I also look at the market, like the Milwaukee market compared to the Philadelphia market.
Right.
Sure. They're just happy. I'm guessing in Milwaukee to be such a relevant team and to have a star player. Basketball's always been big in Milwaukee, but I'm sure it's different. And like you said, it's a mindset.
Well, I think it's very similar. Philadelphia's a bigger market. As far as a city, right? So Philly's like the third, fourth, or fifth largest market or somewhere like that. So Milwaukee's not really a popping market, right? But as far as sports teams, though, they're very similar. You say or what?
Well, no, but Milwaukee's a much stronger sports system, I think.
So they have, I think you might be right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I think that it's like we who do we have patience with? Who have we rolled through all their bumps and bruises and then they've come and brought us a chip
And delivered?
Well, here's another difference, though, in what you're saying. We tanked to get Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons was supposed to be our savior. Giannis was picked like 14th.
Okay, it's a great point. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, but I agree with you. I think, but I don't know, because I feel like this coaching staff, not this one necessarily, but with Brett Brown, I think they were trying to do everything they could do to get him to shoot the ball. I don't think anybody was like, yo, man, you suck. You got to shoot the ball. I don't think anybody was like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I think, I don't know who the person would be to be like, yo, like, this is what you got to do. Like, This is how you got to, like.
Well, if Doc Rivers can't do it, then it just can't be done.
Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't get it. Like, why he's so. And the whole clutch sports thing. If LeBron's your guy, like LeBron, what do you like?
Well, we've heard some interesting things about clutch sports.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some of their business dealings especially with Nerlens Noel.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And somebody came out and verified it. Who co-signed it? The Sixers coach.
Brett Brown.
Oh, he came out and co-signed it.
Well, Brett Brown came to Noel. Like, I guess they saw each other. He's like, yeah, man, we were trying to get you back, but they wouldn't even talk to us.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So, I listen, here's the thing. The evolution of Ben Simmons starts this year. If it's either you are going to be a star or you're going to be average at best.
Because Ben Simmons should be better than Embiid.
I would say so too.
Like, Ben Simmons should be the guy.
Yes.
Embiid should be your number 2 guy, which is a hell of a number 2 guy to have.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong. But this is a guards league.
Yes.
So if Ben could just, and like I said, all it is just make your foul shots, he would be a top 10 player in this league easily.
Yes.
This
is his year though.
I'm
not saying his year like he's going to like go crazy. I'm talking about his year of make or break.
Mm-hmm.
It's a make or break year for him.
So if we go into the season, when we go into the season with Ben Simmons on your roster, how do you think he's going to be received by Sixers fans? Because they're going to be rough on him quick.
I think in those preseason games, you'll see. I think you'll see. I think if he's shooting threes or shooting jump shots or at least attempting to shoot, I think that you by the time he comes home and play, then I think he'll be well received. I mean, Sixers fans were cheering and screaming and, oh my God, he shot a three, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we're just shooting a three and missing the shit. We were hyped.
But I think we're definitely way past that now. Like,
I don't think so. I think we're
so if Ben goes out and you're right, and he starts, let's say, shooting, and he goes 0 for 9, but he shot 6 mid-range jumpers and 3 threes.
Even if he makes 1 3, it's all over.
But all everybody wants him to do is shoot the ball. So if he goes 0 for 9 and he's 0 for 6 for mid-range and 0 for 3, I don't want to hear any negative talk.
No,
they won't.
And
I don't want to hear one thing negative.
Right. Because and that's other that goes back to that, like we talked about with Jalen Hurts almost too. Like, you have to take it for what it is. You can't then be saying, oh, well, you tell me all that time he's working on a shot, he can't hit one.
Yeah, I don't want to hear
like, no, like, you asked for shots, he put up the shots. Now you can't, you can want success, but all you said was you want him to shoot. If he shoots, then we have to succeed. And again, you look at this whole roster. I mean, because the Eastern Conference got stronger, and like I said, I think it's going to be. I think
if you bring JJ back, I think that you've answered a lot of your problems. I really think. I think they're like, that's one key piece. I actually think that's the key piece they missed. I think they missed him.
Well, that, and I think that they missed. I mean, a good veteran leader.
Yeah, but I agree with you. But I really think that he's been their difference. Like, I mean, all you need is somebody hitting shots.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Because you don't have Ben, but Ben's inefficiencies weren't as magnified when they had other shooters.
Correct.
Hitting shots.
Yeah.
Because they're like, okay, well, listen, he's dishing. It's okay. He's dishing. He's pushing. He's creating shots. Okay. But then when you're creating shots and the people that's shooting ain't making the shots, then it's like, well, damn, Ben, why you ain't shooting? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. I think you need another shooter. I want them, go get JJ because he's available. Go get him. What are you waiting for? Yep. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, that's just my opinion. Because other than that, I don't think George Niang and who else they got? Who they got for George Hill?
They just cut George Hill.
They just cut him. Okay, so I listen. You better watch out for Miami.
They're gonna be tough.
Miami's gonna be tough.
He shot 34% from foul line in the playoffs.
Ben, yeah,
30.
Terrible.
Yeah,
terrible. And a part of that is you already don't have your confidence, and then now everybody's dumping on you now. So now everybody's highlighting.
I mean, you just think about it. He is now the national joke.
It's because I don't think he ever really did. He ever really shoot that well from the foul line?
I mean, he was 60s.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
okay, right,
in the 60%.
60,
But you think about,
but when it's highlighted though.
Yeah.
When they start to, I give you a quick story, and you got to read my book for this, but there was a moment in time in my life I was in the military. Most people don't know that, okay? And I could not get this simple, like, a greeting down. And I just kept going, right? And the drill sergeants eventually started to hear it, and they came towards me. And when they came towards me, they sat right next to me. And it took them like 15 minutes to try to figure out, who is it? They said, who is it? And everybody's just quiet. And they said, say it again. And the guy was sitting right there. I said, you get out. Now it's been highlighted. See, when you're in the crowd, it could be masked. But when it gets highlighted, it's even worse now.
And what was the greeting?
Sir Airman Bryce reports for duty or something like that. It was just too, I couldn't catch it, man. I couldn't catch it. You know what I'm saying? It was a culture shock. All these people screaming at you in the face and shit, like, I'm 19 at the time or whatever, screaming.
Oh yeah. Wow.
I couldn't catch it, man.
No, I didn't know that. But
yeah. Well, it's a long story, man. You gotta read the book, man.
Oh, all right. Well, let me know. Is it on Amazon?
No, it hasn't been wrote yet.
I will get that book.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you, that would be a good book.
Oh, I was in a military jail. It was crazy.
Oh my goodness. Well,
But not like a jail, but like I had to sit like this from 5 a.m. till like 9 at night. Just like this. That's just crazy.
well, you were in a military jail. I almost got into Mexican jail. So it's similar.
Wow.
But that's a story for off camera. So, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, we got into a lot of good stuff. I mean, I think everyone's excited about NFL football starting up and that, football is it's a different time of year. It's a different time of year. You get excited about it, and
High school football too.
high school
Everything,
football. Absolutely. Like I said, it's the one thing today, just want to highlight, you got the Little League World Series championship today.
Oh, who's playing?
You got Michigan and Ohio playing.
Oh, that's good.
And
Okay.
if you get a chance to watch it, turn it on
Okay.
because it's just an awesome experience.
That's good.
Now, and shout out, it's a shame because his team did not even make it to the championship. Gavin Weir, the lefty from South Dakota, who
Okay.
in 7 games, he had 100 strikeouts
Wow.
and 1 hit allowed.
Wow.
The kid's just filthy,
Wow.
absolutely filthy. But I go back to it, and I'm sitting here judging Little League coaches. But they exhausted him, and he wasn't even able to pitch in the semifinal game or in the final game if they made it.
Yeah, but if he doesn't pitch in them other games, they don't even
I
get
know.
there.
So it's just like, it's
What are you going to do?
I know. And I'm not going to hate on him. I'm not going
Right.
to hate on him, but it's like, man.
Right. Well, do you think that Dabrowski's got him on his radar or
He
what?
better. So, no, that was it. That was just it. Excited about that. Excited about the upcoming, Eagles season. And got the Phillies today. So
Who they play? Diamondbacks?
Diamondbacks.
Yeah. Who's pitching?
Ranger Suarez.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's here?
Again, his guy shouldn't even be
Right.
starting if you ask me,
Right.
but we'll see.
Well, yeah,
He's done his
listen,
job.
and part of it is that you guys get B-level starters. Like Zach Willis, a B-level starter. He's in the National League or whatever. But he's B-level. You know what I'm saying? But he's doing well. It's B-level though.
He is, but he's
Ian Kane, B-level.
No, yeah, well, he's a closer.
B-level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But he was a starter at one time.
yeah.
Started
now-
for the Yankees, right?
he wasn't one time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's B-level. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? B-level. So you got to get you just got to get better, man. That's all. And you can't celebrate the mediocrity. That's what I'm saying. Like
But
Archie
that's
Bradley.
what we're so
You know.
used to doing in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I remember, we did. I know you. We're used to it.
Yeah.
Think about with the Eagles, how many times? I hated when we were winning all the division titles. People were NFC East division champions. NFC East. What the
Yeah.
hell does that fucking mean?
Well,
Nothing.
it meant something. Because you said. How many Super Bowls did you say that the Eagles won?
The Eagles have won.
Yeah,
one
you said,
Super Bowl.
no, you said 3.
We-
You know what I'm saying?
You did get
You
up
said
to 3.
3,
And
right?
they had the world championship.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, average at best, man. That listen. At the end of the day, listen. The Phillies, they're going to be okay. They'll be okay. They'll finish decent, and then they'll make some changes. I just think that you just have to. You can't celebrate. Like there'll be a who's this quarterback that just came?
Gardner
Gardner
Minshew.
Minshew.
There'll be a press conference. He's major news coming here. He's major news. He's front page news, and there'll be a press conference. If he was in another city, if he was in New York, they just had like a little blurb. We signed him. It wouldn't be no.
No,
press conference.
and you're right. And
No press conference. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Chase. That's why I say Chase Daniel Jr. People were big. Randy, you yourself were big on Chase Daniels.
Come on, now what?
You were. I listen. See, that's what I'm saying, man. You forget. That's why I'm here
it's solid backup.
That's why I'm here to remind you. You know what I'm saying? You were big on Chase Daniels. You liked Chase Daniels. You met Chase Daniels.
I did. I liked it. Yeah,
Right. That's what I'm saying. You were big on.
That was indirectly. We were at a wedding. And
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you liked him.
Wasn't like I went to the Chase Daniel book
No.
site.
I'm not saying that. I'm just,
That would be a little extreme. But,
Right.
so we'll see.
it's all good though. It's all
We'll
good.
see.
It's all
Coach,
good.
what are some of your final thoughts today?
This was an interesting show, fellas.
Yes.
No, I'm ready for football season.
Mhm.
Fantasy football coming up. Draft.
Oh, yeah.
coming up.
We didn't talk about that. Go ahead. Yeah.
So just looking forward to that, and this is a weird time of year for sports.
Mhm.
Just football starting up, baseball. Usually with the Phillies, it's kind of relevant. But not a whole lot going on. So
Mhm.
football season, let's go.
And fantasy football, you're right. Fantasy football, absolutely. So, which is still by so many misunderstood. the fascination with fantasy football. So
Yeah, I'm probably one that doesn't understand it. 'Cause
Okay.
I mean, and the only reason why is because it's. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Is gambling involved?
yes.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not betting no money. I'm cheap.
Oh,
That's the thing.
Well, I do it freely. Like what I do is with my church, so like there's no money involved.
Oh, okay. They're not. Yeah. Oh, they're not. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Sign me up then.
Listen, I mean, but their leagues
Sign me up.
get intense. There's leagues that are like, I mean, the 2 leagues that I'm in, like,
It's like money based, right?
yeah. I mean, each league is one league's $50, one league's $100
Oh,
for the season. So I mean, it's not crazy, but I know leagues people are in that are like $1,000 entry fees.
So the one I was in that I had to get out of, it was $200 to get in, and it got you like 10 transactions, and then it was like $2 a transaction after that.
Wow.
So guys end up paying like $600-700 just to play at the end of the day. I'm like,
No.
I can't do
So,
it.
Yeah.
but no, it's sorry, Jay. What are your final thoughts today?
Yo, you know what I'm saying? It's back to normal. That's where I'm at. It's back to normal. Like we got to get back and gear things. Football's starting. It's funny too because football is like my third favorite sport. It's basketball, then baseball, then football. But I've really come to really enjoy football over the years, and I think mainly, I think it's because, and I understand it more. And I never played. I never liked getting hit, so I never played. I think I played for the West Hempstead Generals. I went to 2 practices, and I got hit. And it's like that's it. It's not for me. You know what I'm saying? But I like the sport though now, and so I'm excited for it. And I like high school football, and I've come to like that. I didn't like it at all, but because I became an announcer, and I became working with the school, then I like it now. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it more and whatever like that. But, I was never a fan like that, but I'm excited for it now because I'm excited for the high school season. I'm excited to see what the Giants and Jets do. I'm excited to see what my Eagles do. You know what I'm saying? And
You missed the team.
Buffalo. Yeah, but
Yeah, don't forget about Buffalo.
I'm excited about all my New York teams, man. It's funny too because I was going to who was I with? I know it was with my brother though. We were somewhere. Oh, we were. You know what? I went fishing recently, and the guy on the boat, I think, was asking my brother about. He had a Mets hat on, and he was talking to my brother about the Mets. Now I know my brother. He's carrying the conversation, but really he's like, "Motherfucker, I don't watch the fucking Mets." Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a Yankee man, you know what I'm saying? And he kind of articulated to him that to like, yo, listen, I'm a Yankee dude, but I'm a New Yorker.
No. See?
And he was the same way. The guy, when we were in New York, we were in New York fishing. So the guy was the same way. Like he's a Mets guy, but it's that thing. We root for all New York teams.
I still don't agree with that.
Well, you're not a New Yorker, so I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why you don't agree. Because you don't have that loyalty when it comes to Jersey. That's why. Have you realized that?
No, but like Jersey, the way you're comparing Jersey, it's like the Buffalo thing. Like you don't even think about Buffalo until you wouldn't even have thought about that.
Like we don't.
if
Like,
I
we don't
bring it
think
up.
about.
So we don't
the
think
Nets,
about North
Devils.
Jersey is like Buffalo to us.
Coach, normally, I agree. Normally, I agree sometimes, but a lot of times. Okay. But let's keep it real. Long Island to Buffalo is 8-9 hours.
Yeah, but it doesn't
From
matter.
Whoa, you see my point, right?
No,
Right.
because
But from here,
it's like the pocket
well,
on.
hold up. From here to the Meadowlands, I mean, damn, it's like what, an hour and a half?
It's all relative.
I mean, it's an hour and a half.
15 minutes across
And
the
you can
bridge.
catch, but listen, and you can catch the train there.
It's 15 minutes to get to the stadiums.
Okay, yeah, right. So I get why you root for Philly. I'm with the Philly thing.
But here's
I'm
the
just
difference.
not with the.
So here's why I give you a little bit of pass for what you're saying. All of the teams that play in New Jersey, the Nets, the Giants, they're rivals. The Mets and Yankees aren't rivals. They're the 2 different conferences. The Jets and Giants they're 2 different conferences.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So,
Right.
so I guess the Jets, could work. The Devils and the Flyers, rivals. So it doesn't work. The Nets and the Sixers, same division, rivals. Doesn't work.
That's valid.
Right. But if they
can't like both.
But if they were to both win, then they would meet each other, point number one. But point number two is that's even more reason why I could like them. Is because they don't play each other.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying that's the difference for what we have to
We
go
would
through.
never, like, you can never say to me, I'm going to root for the Devils because that's one of our.
Well, when the Yankees and Mets play,
In the World Series.
but even the Subway Series, right? When
Yeah.
they play each other, right? I'm left with making a choice.
For sure.
I'm choosing the Yankees.
Right. And all,
Right.
and all,
Right.
and all Yankee fans, which means all Yankee-
but when they're not, then it's like the Knicks and the Sixers. Here's that comparison. The Knicks and the Sixers. The Sixers are my number one favorite team.
Yeah.
When the Knicks and the Sixers play, I'm rooting for the Sixers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're in the same division, but I still want the Knicks to get busy. I still want them to win. Like if they play anybody else, I don't care. Okay. When they play the Sixers, I'm rooting for them.
So it's hard for me to when it's in the division, like you don't like that team.
Nope.
You just don't like
Yeah,
it's a division. Like we're fighting for the same thing. I get your Mets and Yankees thing makes perfect sense to me.
Right.
The Giants Jets thing makes perfect sense to me.
Right.
All that makes sense to me. The Knicks and Nets. That's like everybody's talking about now.
Okay.
Knicks fans hate the Nets. Knicks fans don't. Well, forget the Nets because it's.
Oh, I got a perfect analogy now, Coach. Ooh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Like so that's my thing. So like when you're playing, like I don't know. I just don't think. That's why like when people say, "Oh, I hate the Steelers," I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
Like why? Like I see the Penguins.
Right.
Yeah, to me, the Steelers.
The Steelers should have zero.
I have no.
effect. You should have no feeling
Because
towards.
they're not in the division.
You play them once every 3 years, 4 years, or you'll play them in the Super Bowl. Like that's it.
Right. I think you could like two separate teams in the same division, but when you play head to head,
No, that's a violation.
you don't.
Like you can't tell me that you are.
Both of your coaches.
Yeah.
You've never coached against another coach in your division that you've liked.
I like them, but it doesn't mean I'm going to.
You don't root for their team to do well.
Oh, no, but that's different. That's different.
It's the same thing.
No,
what are you talking about?
I'm trying to think if I have.
It's different. Like
Of course y'all have. Come on.
Professional. Me talking
You guys are in the coaching
No, you're
profession.
right.
You
Well,
know
no,
coaches that you played
If you're
against.
friends with someone, that's different than just being a fan.
Like as a fan, I don't care.
Okay. I mean,
Right. I don't
okay.
care what the Atlanta Braves do. I don't care what I don't know. But when you're coaching directly, when I'm friendly with somebody, yes. Or
And a lot of it also is, and I'm just being honest, a lot of it is that you unfortunately, I tell you, New Jersey is like, it's almost like tofu and avocado. Like you don't really have.
I'm fine with
Yeah,
that.
I'm just saying.
I'm
So
fine with
you almost got to go out to get like your.
New Jersey's between Philadelphia and New York.
Right,
That's what it
yeah,
is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That's what it is.
It is what it is, man. But hey, listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think if you guys ponder on it, there are other coaches that you've coached against that you have. You have respect for, and you want them to do well, whether they're in the same division or not.
But there's only so I'll go back to when I was in high school. I'll just take that. Like
Okay.
so we had our conference.
Okay.
All right. And to this day, I don't like any of those schools. The only reason I would root for those schools now is because like one of my good friends coaches at one of the schools. That's it. Now, when he leaves that school, I will never root for that school again.
Okay.
One player I train plays at one of those schools. Want them to do well. When he graduates, I will have nothing left to do with that school.
Right, but while he's there, you do. So you're saying it's more tied to him.
Yes.
I'm not focused on who it's tied to. I'm focused on what is concluded. Those concluded is that you're rooting for them.
I'm rooting for him.
And you're rooting for that team.
spinning. This is the spinning.
No,
That's
it's
not
fine.
spinning, man.
But I'm saying, there's nothing that
I get
At times,
There's
I will
different
always
undertones.
I will always root for another. If there's something that benefits me, yes, I'll make move for another team.
You know what we need to do? We need to get a host of New Yorkers on the show. A host of
For what?
to get them to understand, to get you guys to understand that what I'm saying as far as, listen, we could have a favorite New York team, but you're a New Yorker first.
And I agree with what you're saying because your teams aren't pitted against each other.
Correct.
Well, do you have the Islanders and the Rangers? That's not true. You have the Islanders and the Rangers.
Right.
I'm an Islander. But you know what? If the Rangers make it and the Islanders don't, I'm a Ranger because I'm a New Yorker.
But see, that's where I think you're wrong.
What do you mean?
That's where I think.
Why do you say I'm wrong? That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you how a New Yorker is, brother.
You are in a minority.
So if the
You
Islanders,
think that other New Yorkers don't feel that way?
Correct.
if Islanders, hold on,
I'm telling you how a New
Get your
Yorker
New York
feels.
guys on here, and I want to hear it from.
hold on, Islanders and Rangers, same division.
Yes.
Okay, so when the Islanders aren't playing and the Rangers are playing the Flyers, maybe take them out. Whatever. I don't know how you feel about the Flyers. Do you root for the Rangers?
Yes. It's only when the Rangers are playing the Islanders, I'm going with the
But
Islanders
that
because
impacts
I'm
the
from Long Island. And
So if the Rangers are playing the Flyers, and if they win, the Islanders are out of the playoffs. Who are you rooting for?
wait, say that one more time.
The Rangers are playing the Flyers.
Okay.
Last game of the season. If the Rangers win, the Islanders are out of the playoffs. Who are you rooting for?
Rangers playing the Flyers. If the Rangers win,
Stall tactic.
the Flyers are out.
No,
of
the
the
Islanders are out of the playoffs.
If the Rangers win, the Islanders are out. I got to root for the Flyers.
Okay. All right. That makes me feel a little better.
No,
Right.
Fair enough.
Because, and I'll tell you why. Not just because the Islanders will be in it, but also the Rangers are still in it. So now I got both New York teams. No, wait a
If the
minute.
Rangers lose, they're out.
Oh,
If the
wait,
Rangers
okay.
win, they're in.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that caveat.
Man, you're trying to
No,
make
I didn't hear.
you're making up your own rules.
No, I didn't hear that caveat.
You're making
I
up
didn't
your
hear
own
that
rules.
caveat.
Ears off.
I didn't hear that caveat. I hear it now.
You make
So
it
you're
up.
saying if the Rangers lose, they're out.
Yep.
If
The
they
Rangers win, the
win.
Islanders are out.
Okay, so then then I'm going for the Islanders then.
So you want the Flyers? Okay,
Yeah.
that makes me feel a
Yeah,
little better.
okay.
I still want to get more of your New York guys on.
You can ask
I
any
don't.
New Yorker.
I don't.
All right.
I don't want to hear any of that. I'm tired of talking about New York.
Yo, I'm saying you can ask any. I'm telling you, man. Listen, it's just like when you go out of state. You out of state, you go on vacation. Somebody say he's from New York. Oh, where are you from New York? Yo, so I'm from New York too. All right, New York in the house. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is, man. I promise you.
Yeah,
it's
but
what
you're
it
gonna.
is.
But wait. But you're gonna.
It's just like, when you go out of state.
No,
Man,
but wait. No,
It's a
because
perfect
of that-
example. You just came back from vacation, didn't you? Okay. Didn't you meet somebody on your trip?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys were able to connect, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Was it?
Because you're both from the same area, right? You were in a foreign land and you met somebody from the same area, right?
No. We didn't meet anyone from the same area.
Okay, then maybe I'm mistaken.
No.
So if you're out of town and you run into somebody,
From New York.
do you guys say Mets or Yankees? You guys have that conversation?
Nah, it's like, oh, where are you from? Oh, yo, what up, bro? Hey, okay, all right.
But
boom,
I'm
boom,
telling
boom,
you, but
boom,
he
boom.
might.
That's it.
Oh, all right. All right.
You never met nobody, so weird. You trying to tell me you haven't seen nobody when you was on vacation that's from the Philadelphia area, from Jersey, whatever. Oh, he's a Jersey guy. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then you instantly become a little connected.
No, of course you do. Of course you do.
That's what I'm talking about.
But when the difference is when you meet somebody from Jersey or Philly, you know what teams they like.
And if they say, oh, I'm from North Jersey, and you're like, we know that you're not.
But like when you meet somebody from New York, from what I've seen and
Okay.
witnessed, Giants or Jets. That's the question. Giants or
Mets
Jets.
and Jets?
Mets or Yankees. Like that's the questions that people ask each other.
Yes, because there's variation, there's choices. There's no choices when you say you from.
But what I'm saying is you guys don't go, what do you mean? I root for everybody. You guys don't say that.
It's already understood,
Okay.
Coach, is what I'm saying. It's understood that, no, listen, yeah, that's why you asked the question, are you Jets or Giants? Okay, which one are you, when you get down to the nuts and bolts, are you? Oh, you Jets, oh, you Giants. But as a whole, listen, they're going to root for the New York team. I promise you.
Well, no, that makes I'm fine with that.
That's
fine
what I'm
with that.
saying, right.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
But you can't just claim everybody. That's all I'm saying. You have to have
all New York teams.
No, but you have teams.
But I have favorites.
Right.
Right. So my favorite team is like even the Knicks and the Nets, right? Are they in the same division?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So those two teams, I'm going with the Knicks.
Okay.
Right? If the Knicks play the Nets, I'm rooting for the Knicks. Now, if the Nets are playing Atlanta, I'm rooting for the Nets. You know what
Even
I'm
when they
saying?
were in New Jersey? Or is that new?
No, even in Jersey. See, and when we was kids, we got Sports Channel. So in New York, we were able to see the Nets games and the Knicks games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's that way now. But yeah, that's just the way it is, man.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, look,
Just like if the Penguins are playing, the Flyers are out of it. You're rooting for the Penguins.
No, I don't give a shit about the Penguins.
Okay.
See, but the Penguins are a team that you root for whoever they're playing.
Philadelphia would ever root for the Penguins.
It's like the Cowboys. You root for whoever they're playing.
Yes.
Oh, so
Because it's like a rival.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's certain teams that I don't know if New York has this. I'm not being smart. Probably the Red Sox, maybe. Like,
correct.
If the Yankees are out and the Red Sox are in the playoffs, you want the Red Sox to lose.
Sure, absolutely.
You don't.
That's how it is for the Penguins.
So the Penguins and the Phillies, the Penguins and the Flyers are like the Yankees and the Red Sox. It's that type of
not that deep.
Not that deep, but
yeah.
to that same. Okay. Okay.
Like I can root for, like as a Phillies fan, I can root for the Braves. I can root for the Braves to win.
You can't root for the
That's fine.
Pirates though.
I can root for the Pirates.
Oh.
Probably wouldn't root for
But
the
it all
Mets.
depends.
I wouldn't root for the Mets.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't root for the Mets. I wouldn't. There's too much. There's not. So
It's history.
there's history.
What history?
We just hate the New York teams. I have had no hatred towards the Braves.
Yeah.
Again,
History.
also growing up in this area, we've talked about it before. I have an underlying respect and
TBS.
enjoyment of the Braves. Like I always have and always will.
Of the Braves.
Yes.
Why? Oh, TBS.
TBS.
Okay.
TBS. I mean, like that's
Okay.
I mean, so like
yeah.
so like if the Braves were in the playoffs, I'm like, let's go Braves.
Because the Phillies sucked during that time.
Yeah, because the Phillies suck.
Okay. I got you.
All right. Well, listen. With that said, another great show, fellas. I know, except for next time we get on here on next Sunday, we're going to have a lot. We're going to have the whole NFL schedule on tap. We're going to talk about it. I know we'll be getting some guests on the show as we talked about as the football season approaches. Let me get a little more talk coming up. See where we're at with the Phillies. See what kind of week they have, but not holding out too much hope.
I'm sure you'll be letting us know.
Oh, absolutely. But listen, in fairness, for guys who follow the page and whatnot, I have not been one-sided. I've been struggling.
He has.
I've been throwing it out
That
there
is
when
true.
we're losing, when we're winning,
That is
whatever it
true.
may be. But listen, with that said, for Coach Marcus Bullock,
Even
for
though
Jason
I got to say one thing. I'm sorry. And I'm going to leave it alone. The language, though, with the Zach Wheeler thing, I think I commented on it, too. You know what I'm saying? The language with the...
you did, and you
Right.
always as let's get it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how to change
I don't know how to. I don't know how to change it. So you need to put Jason.
That's what I was doing.
Jason.
Jason says
Yes.
that's what I'll do.
Jason says.
Right. The language, though, that you utilize.
But again, I still would, like I said, the last time he pitched, another struggling starts, I put it out there and said the last 3 starts, he's been not nearly close to anything good.
Right.
So I'm done too. But I'll give him this though. When he struggles, he still goes 8 innings, 9 innings. He's not giving you the 5 inning boy.
Well, no, you're right. You're not.
I'll give him that.
You're not. Like, but again,
Okay. That's fair.
he was getting. I mean, we're wrapping up, but I just want to say too, and you were saying also when we talked about it, I'm so sick of Joe Girardi.
Oh, yeah.
So sick of Joe.
Average
Girardi.
at best.
At best.
Average at best.
The only reason he won a ring was because of the lineup that he was getting, the roster he was given. It wasn't thanks to him.
So A-Rod finally played that 1 year up to his contract.
Oh, yep.
You know what I mean? You had a Ibanez, Philly guy who took on.
Raul, yep.
Yeah, he played out of dynamite. You know what I'm saying? We were there. Was Petty? I wonder if Petty was still Petty. He was. I think he was at the end.
Yeah. No, Pettit was there.
I think I think he was
Yeah.
still there. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
believe he was.
Yeah, but anyway, it's all good though. It's all good, man. You know what I mean? It's all good.
Well, we'll see what happens. Like I said, we're all excited for football. And once again, Coach Marcus Bullock, Jason Bryce, I'm Randy Dutkin. Thanks for watching Let's Get It. Like and follow us on social media. We'll catch you next time.